From these traditions, he explained his methodology, how he added and included a hadith. He said, I examined 600,000 during my journey, and I would not add a hadith to my sahih except that I did the following. I prayed 2 rak'at namaz salah. I want Allah to bless this. Let me bless this act by before praying 2 rak'at salah. Number 2, I used to take istikhara. So I consult the Holy Quran al-Kareem. Ya Allah, is this a good thing that I am doing? Then after a salah, after al-khira, consulting the Quran, I then decided to study the hadith. I looked at its chain, I looked at the metin, the content, and then if I determined this was authentic, I would add it. I asked, how long would that take a person to do? How long? Al-Bukhari mentions it took him a span of 16 years to do so. And later on in his life, he developed a blindness to him. But that we'll put to the side. How long should this take a person to examine one hadith, look at its chain? But when you look at a chain, you look at the biographers. Between Bukhari and Rasulullah are roughly 9 narrators. I heard from my teacher, who is a muhaddith, who heard from his teacher, going back eventually to either Anas bin Malik, Abu Hurairah, Aisha, and the likes, who heard from Rasulullah. He has roughly 9 people. How long would it take him to examine each individual, determine if they were reliable, in addition, pray 2 rak'at salah and istikhara, and then add it? So he'd have to do wudu for each one and so forth. It would take you at the very least 30 minutes. Okay, you have 600,000 ahadith you're going to look through. 30 minutes. 30 times what? 600,000. That's 18 million minutes. 18 million minutes. That's roughly 32 years. How did you say you accomplished it in 16 years? And he died in the years when he was 60 years old. He was 60 years old when he accomplished. By the way, that's if you're doing nothing but examining a hadith. When does the man need to sleep? And he traveled, mashallah, many distances. So the numbers tend to not add up. But nonetheless, with respect to Bukhari, our issue is the following. How did we come and accept from the 3/4 of the Muslim world that this is all sahih? Who made that claim that it was all sahih? The number one response is that it was through the ijma' of the ummah, meaning the consensus of the Muslim world, the ummah, and al-Imam al-Nawawi, who is a very famous scholar and alim of the classical time of Sunni scholarship. He has the famous Al-Arba'un Hadith work. It is sahih based on al-ijma' al-ummah. Ijma' of the entire ummah, the entire Muslim ummah. What does it mean when you find the term al-ummah al-Islamiyya? Does it just mean every individual? In the context of scholarship, it means the ulama all together unanimously agreed that this is sahih. But that's not true, because even the Sunni scholarship did not all agree this was all sahih. For example, Al-Bayhaqi, a classical Sunni scholar, disagreed with this. He says Al-Bukhari is not all sahih under my terms. Can you have ijma' of the ummah if there are scholars that are missing? You cannot have ijma' if there's a scholar not present. For example, Ad-Dar al-Qutni. Dar al-Qutni was a scholar from Baghdad. He wrote a book called Al-Tatabbu'at, Al-Ilzamat wa-Tatabbu'at. Al-Ilzamat wa-Tatabbu' rather. In this book, he addressed 200 ahadith he found that are incorrect and false based off of the chain in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. 90 from Bukhari, 110 from Sahih Muslim. He's a Sunni scholar, an esteemed scholar, who refuted this claim that you cannot call this Sahih because I personally examined 200 traditions, in my humble opinion, that are false. Al-Imam al-Suyuti, another, and this is a famous philosophical scholar in Sunni scholarship, famous alim, Al-Imam al-Suyuti said, no, not in my opinion, this is not all Sahih. And many more classical scholars of that time denied that this was authentic. What about contemporary ulama? Yes, you had contemporary Sunni ulama. For example, Muhammad Nasr al-Albani, really famous, prominent, they refer to him as Al-Allam al-Albani, from Albania, one of the largest scholars of Sunni scholarship in the 20th century today, who passed away. That means, could you call the entire thing sahih? No. He might refute 3 or 4, but at the end of the day, if you refuted 1 or 100, you cannot call the entire thing sahih all of a sudden. You can do. The Zaydiyya from the Shia denomination, they don't believe all of Sahih Bukhari and Muslim are accepted. But unless you take the Zaydiyya out of the ummah, what about the Ibadiyya? What about the Mu'tazila? These individuals all agree that no, everything is subject to a diraya, a dirasa, an examination, a look, a thorough examination, dissecting, looking, and seeing that hadith. This is sahih to you probably, but not to me, because I have different conditions. Which leads us to the following issue. Our issue